Aloha everyone. My name's Mike, and today I'm going to be tackling a big project. This is a 1969 Volkswagen Bus Deluxe, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of rust problems underneath the windshield. And I'm just going to have my son Kaleo zoom in a little bit here. You can see this rust all the way down, and it continues on through the driver's side of the windshield. Now luckily for me, none of this rust goes all the way through, but as you all know, this is a problem area in a lot of buses where the water gets in behind here and can actually rot the metal right here and make a really big problem. So I'm going to try and tackle this problem before it gets big. And as you can see, this isn't a show quality bus, so I'm not looking for a show quality job here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the rust and put it all back together. So I have a couple of products that I'm going to show you that I'm going to use. My first step is going to be to obviously remove the windshield and cut out the old rubber and take the windshield wipers off. This is a product that I found works very well for stripping rust and paint, and it's actually designed for this. This is a 4.5-inch angle grinder, and this product is made by Avanti Pro, and it's made specifically for taking off metal and rust. And so I'm going to be using this. You can also get these for your cordless drill or your corded drill as well, in a different shape obviously. So I'm going to be using that, and then first step after that is I'm going to be using Pore 15. This is a metal prep. Pore 15 is designed to go right over rust, but since I'm going to have some bare metal, I'm obviously going to use this metal prep stuff first. Then I'm going to do a couple of coats with Pore 15 paint. I've had really good luck with this rust preventative paint before. It works really well and dries rock solid, so I'll be using that. Then I'll give it a quick scuff up with a 220 sanding pad, and then I've got some filler primer that is sandable, so it fills in some of the dips and scrapes and valleys that will be there. And then just over the counter, really kind of generic Rust-Oleum paint. It basically matches the green paint on the bus pretty well, but I'm just going to be painting this strip right here. So it won't be a perfect match, but my goal is to have it have the rust stopped at this point, because I don't want to get any worse. And then last but not least, and this is the tricky part, this is the new window rubber, and so I'll be cleaning the windshield, putting the window rubber in, and with the help of a neighbor, hopefully, extra set of hands out here, we'll put it all back together. So that's where we're going to start for now. Okay, so first step for me is going to be windshield removal, and I've decided after watching a few YouTube videos of people breaking their windshields, trying to save the old seal, I've decided I'm just going to cut the old seal out and replace it. So the idea is to take the utility knife, and you can see where I peel this back. There's a lip right there, so I'm going to try and cut right along this line so that this lip on the seal is no longer holding the windshield in place. And I'll be asking for help from my daughter to hold the windshield in from the outside before I get too far, so it doesn't drop out and break on the concrete. So I did get the windshield out with the help of my daughter holding from the outside as I pushed out. And unfortunately, of course, the rust damage is much more extensive than I anticipated. I just thought it was some bubbling on the outside, but it looks like there's a little bit more here on the inside than I was anticipating. So I guess what that means is I'm going to be doing a little bit more work than I thought, but I still am hoping to be able to do this without replacing any panels or anything like that. Although that, at this point I'm looking at it, that's probably the best option would be to cut this out and put a new panel in. However, I don't have unlimited resources. So basically my goal is to do the least amount as possible to stop the rust and make it functional. Okay, grind away. So I've put a tarp over the open windshield area just to keep a bunch of stuff from flying in there. And I'm going to be using this grinder, except very carefully. I don't want to bear down too hard because a lot of this metal is very thin. And so if I grind a lot down, I'm going to be replacing more metal. So when you're doing this, always wear a mask. This creates a lot of dust. And then safety goggles too. There's little bits of things flying. So anyways, I'll just show you. I just go real gently over this and try and take off as little as possible. But everything that needs to come off is going to come off. Alright, so if you come in here, you can see I'm able to, get the chunks of paint that need to come off and also feather the rest of it. And so there's not a lot of dips and valleys in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the whole thing, and then we'll video it again. Ready? Okay. Alright, so after sanding this down, removing as much rust as I could, I have, and oh, by the way, another item that you're probably going to want to use, the grinder gets a little loud, so dust mask, safety goggles, and ear protection is always good. So I'm going to take my vacuum and kind of clean this up before I do the rust preventative paint on it. But if you can come in here and show this, you can see that there is some up higher. See this? All along here there are portions of rust through. Unfortunately, I did not anticipate that. However, after looking at it, I've got some ideas, and of course, the proper way to do this would be to cut this out and weld in a new piece. But that's not an option for me right now. So the option is to prevent it from going any further and to stop any kind of rust progression. So I'm gonna, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut strips of fiberglass and use fiberglass and resin to kind of fill that channel after I do my rust preventative paint on it. So that's where I am right now, and then we'll see where that progresses. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. Yesterday I got everything sanded down, did my metal prep primer, the Pour 15 metal prep, and then I put on 3 coats of Pour 15 rust preventative. And I even found up here there was a little tiny bit of rust up here, so I scuffed that up and then put a little bit of Pour 15 there. And if you come in a little bit closer, you can see I really got this area very thick, and then on top of that I'm just going to put a little strip of fiberglass, which is going to go here, lots of resin to make it nice and hard, and then primer, top coat with the green paint, and then put the windshield seal back in. So that's where we're at right now.